Alright, and welcome to the 24th episode of What If Civilization Started on Another Planet. In the last episode, I guess, we basically saw this little country form finally to, connect, like, this little area right here. This country kind of formed from the Lost Explorers, and we have this guy right here. So, basically what's going to be happening now is we're going to be seeing a bunch of new stuff, because, as usual, I did not fix that. That's better. There we go. Anyways, now we can continue. Anyways, so basically, recently, this has just been connected here. And if we actually take a look at a very concerning thing, this has, like, 3 different religions. With the main one, it being, like, the green majority, but it does have 2 minorities, like this and this area, as well as this pink area right here. So, with the dominating green religion, the 2 other smaller religions aren't too happy about this, and they kind of want to, like, do their own thing, which, fairly so, because, if we take a look at the religion map again, most countries have basically just their religion, besides, like, what are the exceptions? These are very divided, especially the island nations. I feel like this is just this area right here. Oh boy, these guys have 3 different. Oh, they might be a little cooked. Oh well, they can figure that out another time. But basically, it's mainly just a few of these countries right here. But this one definitely has it the worst. So, what's going to happen is there will actually be a civil war because these guys, the religions, they want some independence. Okay, so yeah, as we can see, this is already bad. There's 2 main things. There's this religion right here, which is kind of split into 2 parts, and this little pink religion right here. And basically, what's going to happen is instantly these guys, they are kind of broken apart, but they are able to do a couple of small pushes into this area right here, as well as down here, which goes fairly well until there's a bit of a halt and there's a little bit of a stalemate right here. But it does not go too well up here, where they're actually able to capture all of this land with relative ease. Because again, these guys were literally formed just like last episode, literally as a filler country. So they might not be the best suited, and they might not be doing the best. I could just say that. So basically, these guys, without like too much of an issue, once they got pushed back, they're just gonna be able to kind of keep pushing through this. With, of course, these guys finally being able to push this area down here. And this is going to go, of course, as well as you'd expect. They're losing, in simple words. I don't know what else to say. They're losing, and it's not going well because these guys are now approaching the capital and have captured it. And they have successfully asked for independence, and it has been granted. So now, with this country shattered and these guys a little upset about it. It is kind of their fault. They didn't really set it up right. This thing was kind of doomed to fail. Like, that was just sad. So, peace deal, I guess. Okay, so, in this peace negotiation, basically, it's just, countries get kind of their own thing. But there is a bit of an issue, and it's been pretty well agreed upon that this little country just isn't strong enough, to be able to take care of this area right here. So, what's going to happen is actually some of these provinces are actually going to join up with the blue team right here, and others are just going to form as their own country, actually. Okay, so basically it's just going to look like this, where these like 1 or 2 provinces decide to join up with this country, and the rest decided to make their own little nation. So this area is just a little loose. So the problem here is that actually quite a few people actually decided to flood into this country. So, to make room for more people and eventually get more resources, these guys will do not much, but they will expand a little down into here, and that's actually probably what they're going to do for quite a bit, because they are one of there's actually starting to be a lot of weak countries now that I realize, with all the events that are happening. But I think it's safe to say that the weakest is still actually, I think the weakest is between actually probably these guys, which still have like a lot of developed stuff in this area, or it would be like these guys right here. So yeah, we have a little funky looking country right here now that I realized. But also, yeah, this does show that these 2 countries automatically just have good relations with because that's just how they roll. But also because since these guys did decide to allow some land to be given, these two have friendly relations, and now if I had to say, the green one right here is probably the strongest out of the three. But no, these guys are probably still also the strongest country. Out of these little, I mean, they are also the biggest. So, but what will be happening is that these guys will decide to do some expansion. But they will use try to quite a bit of their materials. Amazing English. To be able to just like get all of this area right here. Because they kind of need more resources because they're kind of lacking on that. So that is gonna help them out. Okay, so yeah, as we see, these guys did expand a little bit, but what we can also see is actually the red team also do some expansion because they did finally connect their province, which finally ended a really big challenge that they had. So now they could relax a little, but yeah, no, these two have some crazy beef right now, so that is another thing. So, but there are some interesting stuff, like for example, obviously these two hate each other, these two like each other, these two hate each other because they kind of fought. These guys don't like each other as well, so it's pretty feisty, just like basically everything else here is. So it's interesting as usual. But now, it has been a while, but we are actually going to focus back onto these guys. But yeah, no, it has definitely been a hot second. But what has been happening in the meantime is these guys have been exploring, and they actually got all the way down here, to the exploration of this little island right here, and they even decided to go a little down here, but are stopped. And they're actually, with the help of these guys, of course, because they're all good old pals, and that's why they were able to get pretty far, and they can actually get all the way down here until there's only like this much left of the island, and we'll decide to expand a little more with their little colony right here, because this honestly has like really good materials and stuff. So this is a pretty good idea from what they've been doing, and it has definitely been helping out their economy. Like, because if I had to rank these guys, excluding this one, I would say, actually, you know, I'll include them. This is number one. This is the second strongest. These guys are number three. These guys are the fourth. I say these are the fifth. No, these guys are the fifth, sixth, and then seventh strongest in this little area right here. I mean, they're not all of them are not that strong. I mean, maybe I would say like these two right here and the yellow one are fairly powerful. The other ones, meh. Actually, what I will, I mean, I feel like these two are really close in strength. They also have this like overseas colony, so I mean, technically, so do these guys as well. So, I mean, yeah. Okay, so yeah, after these guys did a bit of expansion, actually, surprisingly enough for these guys, a brand new country decided to form right here, which, honestly has a pretty high population for, like, being a brand new country, so these guys are definitely to keep an eye on. But, also, these guys do also have just pretty friendly relations, because they don't really have beef with each other or anything. But, that, that is going to be something to keep an eye on, because these guys, technically have all of this to themselves. So after they do a bit of expansion down here, they're gonna call it quits for now. But of course, this isn't a video without war, of course. So these guys will finally muster up the courage, and since they have some of their allies, they will declare war on these guys right here and start making slow pushes, eventually capturing this area down here. Now, to anyone wondering why did they do this, I will explain. I will explain in a second. And obviously, since these guys have their allies, I guess mostly these guys being the threat since they're like really close, they could just cross over. Well, I mean, actually, here's the thing. These guys, hold on, let me just redraw this. These guys, are really, really close in power when it comes with the purple team. It's just that they get slightly outweighed. These guys, I mean, also like these guys can't really help. They're just kind of like stuck here. They don't have sea access or anything, so will actually take a few skirmish lands. Like for example, they'll take these areas, and they want to really declare war, but they'll like officially like claim these areas, and like with these guys, just in case they will accept this, with them taking just a couple of small areas, nothing crazy, as compensation, basically saying, all right, we take a bit of this, and then, I don't know, do whatever the hell you want. So, that is basically what happened, and, So these guys actually are able to do a little push back right here until these guys start pushing in completely right here, which are actually able to encircle and capture a bunch of these troops, which actually begin to flee to the pink team, which is honestly fine with them because they just send them back up here, which is able to cut this area off, which is not very good because the pink team is pretty friendly with these guys, but do despise these guys, so they rather help them out, which with this, these guys have to actually go send back, and there is a spearhead concerningly close to this capital city, which was not part of this plan, and even this area just starts to be sent back, which this is not very good. How is this happening? Until even the capital is captured, these guys, due to miscommunication and just complete disarray. So these guys are basically at the brink of collapse, but luckily these guys, seeing the issue, decided to step in and help out, with them just flooding troops into this area right here and completely cutting it off and just kind of taking it for themselves. But basically, once these guys take this, these guys have to kind of start sending troops, and these guys are able to re-liberate their capital and get also very close to theirs. So that was also just showing how that was just really embarrassing and sad, showing how these guys just got kind of beat by weakest countries like ever. Like these guys, not a good history. They have a weak history, and they're still somehow getting beat back. But luckily, with aid from the purple team, they are finally able to capture the capital. And before anything else happens, they are actually able to surrender. But that was an interesting defeat, to say the least, actually. Now, in this peace deal, it actually might shock some of you, but these guys barely took anything. Like, these guys only took this province right here, and these guys only took this tiny little area right here. To anyone wondering why, I'm about to show you. Yeah, these guys have turned into a dictatorship. Their goal actually was, in this case, just to change the government, because these guys were a kind of a big issue until allowing these guys to kind of have like a passage, because these two are both landlocked, and so the purple team can't really help them out. But with turning these guys into a dictatorship and getting them to join their alliance, that was their goal, and it has successfully worked actually for them. So I guess good for them. So yeah, as we can see, the Square team has gotten one more member, not really just to help them fight, because these guys, I mean, actually, no, they showed a pretty impressive victory and how bad these guys are, but it was mostly just for like a passageway so these guys can just start kind of go through here into there. So that's what these guys are mostly for. So now all they need is to kind of have, so they have this passage here to here, but all they now need is this to this. So but obviously they are not going to stand up to these guys because they've become fairly powerful, and these guys declaring war would kind of probably just set off another big war, and nobody wants that yet. I mean, these guys probably do, but they do realize they are probably the weakest alliance by quite a bit, actually. So it's not their best choice. But there will also be a few other issues with the orange team, which has kind of kept going downhill from here, with now there being another issue with now being these guys. But yeah, the problem here is that this entire area of the orange team declares its independence. They've had enough. These guys, they're not doing the best, especially when these guys lost this right here. One of their key ports, which is now the capital of this, to get to this area, kind of not theirs. So now it's a lot more difficult, especially since they have to go around either down here, which is kind of blockaded by the brown team, and then there's up here, which is also blockaded by the brown team. So if you really wanted to, you have to go all the way around here through the cyan team just to get there. So it is not the best, but these guys did declare their independence, and they decided probably not to go on the bad side with these guys. So even though they still like these guys, kind of, they just had enough with it, they're going to have friendlier relations with these guys, so they do not become that country, because they rather stay independent than be a part of those guys, with their capital, of course, right there. Now, Also, this is kind of, I mean, it is, but basically there has been issues kind of going on here. This entire area, starting from like this right here, basically including this island and all of this right here, it's called the Red Sea, mostly because these guys right here with civilization, it all started right over here, kind of. People really believe that's not what it should be called anymore. For example, these guys think it should be called the Blue Team, or like, look, I'm just saying, I'll eventually think of names for these guys. Like, I don't have a good idea name for any of these yet, so I kind of just call them by the colors for now. But basically, countries like, especially like these two, like the Blue Team and Dark Blue Team, they especially think it should be called something like the Blue Sea or something. So that is a bit of a dispute that's going on, and I mean, it's not helping these guys. They've basically collapsed. Like, do you even classify them as a country? They're kind of cooked. And also for quick context, the reason also they haven't joined any alliance is because, I mean, they despise both. They definitely despise the blue team more, but they also extremely hate like the gray team right here. They're not much better. They hate both of these guys kind of, so that's why. And I mean, the circle team that kind of ended a bit ago, but technically, I'm technically it's back, but like it's a different one. I just don't have all the shapes, so that's the reason. But anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and yeah, I'm gonna have to work on more of this. But all I can say is that the Second Great War is approaching somewhere between the next couple of episodes, and I have a really cool idea for it. Like, I have most of it planned out. I just need to think of how it will start. But I have an idea on how it will end, so hopefully you guys will enjoy when that happens. But anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and yeah.